My name is Purge and I approve the content in this video.
Hey guys, this is Sunsfan and welcome to the official Dota Cinema Guide to Sniper. If you aren't familiar with this hero, you may want to watch the introduction we did for him at the corresponding link. Sniper is an agility carry hero who is very item dependent. His greatest strengths are his uncanny attack animation and his ability to destroy people from insane range. There are two skill builds for Sniper. The first we'll call the default build. Get a level of headshot right away to help with the last hits and harassment. Headshot doesn't scale particularly well, and since it is RNG, you won't see its true benefits until your attack speed is more respectable. Next, you'll skill at Take Aim at levels 2 and 3, and will proceed to max it by 7. This provides ridiculous range for you to either farm or harass with ease. At level 4, since we're ignoring headshot, you'll get a level of shrapnel. Proceed to max that second, finishing it by 10. At the standards 6, 11, and 16, take your ultimate, Assassinate. And as you can probably guess, last we leave headshot. Second is kind of the push build. We'll stick with the logic of getting one level of headshot right away and then not touching it until level 12. Then instead of getting Take Aim, you'll max shrapnel by 7. This means Take Aim will be your second priority, where you finish it off by 10. For starting items, stock up on health regeneration to go along with 3 iron branches, which you'll combine into a magic wand later. Also get a ring of protection for early armor. Generally you'll see Sniper in the easy lane, but he could potentially go mid too. If you're maxing shrapnel first, then turn your ring of protection into a ring of Aquila as quickly as possible. If you aren't leveling shrapnel, then you can probably delay that for a little bit since you won't be spamming any mana intensive spells until you get your ultimate. As a result, get regular boots as fast as possible for survivability. Upgraded boots of choice for Sniper are treads. They provide some much needed HP, and of course the attack speed will work well throughout the game, considering that's kind of the name of the game with Sniper. You may notice while playing Sniper that although he has ridiculous range and attack animation, as a trade-off he is extremely squishy. Because of this, you have to think carefully about your items. The first core item would be a Manta. It gives great stats, good damage, and a little bit of extra survivability with your illusions. After that, a BKB is almost always the correct choice. Since you're squishy and by this time dealing some decent damage, you'll be the prime choice for any heavy magical spells. After this, things start to branch out a bit. Some people like to get a Helm of the Dominator, which is a great way to get a little lifesteal, and also gives you the opportunity to stack camps. Plus, you could potentially turn that into a Satanic once you're looking for luxury items. If you're trying to outcarry an evasion hero, get an MKB. If you're looking for some physical survivability, then get Butterfly. A Daedalus is also an amazing DPS item which works really well with Manta illusions. Even items such as Mjolnir and Desolator have been known to be effective in certain games on Sniper. Also, a very expensive item which is great for stats and amazing for controlling melee heroes in teamfights is an Eye of Skadi, which also works on your Manta illusions. Lastly, I'd be remiss not to carefully mention a Shadow Blade. It's really not that good on Sniper, but sometimes survivability is very tough to come by early on. If you're gonna get it first or don't get it at all. Sniper is kind of a forgotten hero of sorts. He's a little bit boring, very squishy, and unfortunately one of the most item dependent heroes in the game. He definitely has quite a few drawbacks, but if used correctly, he can snowball out of control as one of the hardest carries in the game. As we touched on earlier, the later the game goes, the better headshot gets. Forget about the extra damage it deals, but as the game goes on, your attack speed is going to get faster thanks to not only your item pickups, but the fact that you're an agility hero. As a result, the mini stun becomes one of the most annoying things to go against. You know that annoying thing that happens every time you attack a hero in lane, where the creeps all come attack you in some limbo line of death? Well, you don't really have to worry about that with Take Aim leveled. It allows you to outrange both creep aggro and towers. Positioning in fights is very key late game though, so please do not take your extra range for granted. Shrapnel is a decent slow and DPSer for team fights, but is more useful for pushing. It'll kill creeps nicely and deal 30% of its overall damage to towers. So this plus Take Aim will allow you to solo towers pretty easily. That is until the enemies actually notice you and they come kill your squishy ass. Also, if you max this skill early enough, you can ask your teammates to stack camps for you, since it'll decimate them without trouble. When looking at Sniper's ultimate, you may wonder how is it possible to have an ulti that deals over 600 damage with such a short cooldown and ridiculous range, and not be overpowered? Well, obviously there's the windup, but more importantly he has no combo move. If you take Lina as an example, she can stun, then wave, and then ulti your face, while Sniper can basically just stand there and auto attack. Don't get me wrong, Assassinate is very good, but in its own way. You typically use it to spam harass, or after an engagement where you're just picking off a straggler. In some situations you can use it at very long range to cancel a BK bead unit who is channeling something very important. We talked about what to do after a fight, meaning taking out fleeing enemies, but what do you do during a fight? Well, keep it at a distance if possible, choose your target wisely, and just right click. Obviously if you can get solid shrapnel over the entire battlefield, then that'll help quite a bit, but the main thing is to just choose who you're going to be taking down first, whether it be that big time initiator before he gets his ult off, or the squishy support who will go down fast. Sniper isn't much of a renegade. He likes safe lanes. Thus, you should lane him with a reliable partner. Somebody like Vengeful Spirit, Crystal Maiden, or Venomancer would match up with him nicely. If you've maxed Shrapnel early, then Shadow Demon could be a viable partner, although we do feel that Sniper isn't served too well in the most aggressive of lanes, so tread lightly. To put it simply, the list of heroes that Sniper should stay away from is quite long. We'll keep it short and say those with high burst damage. Some examples would include Lion, Queen of Pain, Lina, and Nyx Assassin. Thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe to our YouTube. Also, a big thanks to Flawless and Purge for their help in writing this guide. You can check out their awesome channels in the video description. Also be sure to visit our website at dotacinema.com and visit our Facebook at facebook.com/dotacinema.